4:03, and I'm going to call to order the Keep Durant Beautiful meeting. Do a roll call.
Board Member Horsley?
Here.
Board Member Sutter?
Here.
Board Member Knight?
Here.
Board Member Solis?
Here.
Chairman Miller?
Here. All right. We got the number one is the consent items. If we want to go over them each individually, we can approve all of them at once. Just y'all want to pull any of those out and talk about them, or y'all want to just approve them all just as one approval?
Just approval.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Call roll.
Board Member Knight?
Yes.
Board Member Solis?
Yes.
Board Member Horsley?
I approve.
Board Member Sutter?
Approve.
Chairman Miller?
Yes. All right, number two is consider items for removal. We didn't have any, so we're to number three, and this is administration. Letter A is consideration and possible approval to fund the Christmas tree. And do we want to have a discussion on that?
What was that, through a grant?
No.
It was just outright purchase?
I believe it was an outright purchase, and then we had talked about it in the past that we were going to, I guess, reimburse the city after it was paid for.
When did we talk about that?
The last actual meeting we had was it was a discussion we had, and we couldn't talk about a money number because we hadn't had one nailed down and found yet. So I just know we discussed. And
So this would come out of this committee's budget if we
Yes.
approve this? What is our budget?
Can you remember 50, 60-ish? It's 50 to 60. I can't remember the exact number what we've got left.
So if we approve that, then where do we get funding to replace it?
And I think funds were added to it
We need to.
because we were knowing this was going to come up. So I think they added more funds than we did like the previous year to this fund to cover that cost of the tree. If I can remember right, I may be wrong, but
I do not remember any Christmas tree discussion, but it's been so long since we've met.
Mhm.
I don't either, Candy. but-
May I ask a question, please?
Yep.
Yes.
The funding that we're discussing that's coming into our organization, where does that funding come from? How is it allocated?
From the city of Durant, they put it in the fund.
There is a budget.
It's
and
budgeted. It's
do
budgeted
we
in
have
every
a
year.
past annual budget for the past 3 years so we can compare?
We probably do. We probably don't have one in front of us, but you can.
So if we
can
were
get it.
receiving $30,000 for the past 3 years and received an additional 30 to cover the tree, then there should be no problem approving the tree cost for now, as long as we maintain a baseline budget of the 30.
Right.
But we need to know those numbers.
And what normally happens if you don't use the money, they put it back in they roll it over. Yeah.
Do we have parameters on the rollover? How much is allowed to roll over to the next year?
Just whatever's left in the account.
We have an unlimited amount to roll over.
Yeah, and then the council will approve.
Are we allowed fundraising?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so we have an annual budget that we don't know what that typically is, so we need that information. We'd like a comparison for the past 3 years, and then we can investigate further fundraising for the future.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want that to take out the whole budget because we've got other things to go through this year.
Right.
Absolutely. So if we can get those numbers and then we can discuss it again at our next meeting, is that okay? Do we have a deadline for when this has to be completed?
No, I mean, what are you thinking? Soon? So we'd have to have another special call meeting within, like, how long?
Whenever you want to schedule that, you make that.
As long as we have the information, we
Yeah,
can
we need
schedule it
to.
within a week's time frame, I would believe.
Yep.
So we can schedule it after the new year,
Okay.
with the holidays coming up, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable making a decision on this without more information.
Okay.
That's the way I feel.
So do you just want to table this?
So I'm just going to table this. Is that what everybody's in agreement with? Table? Okay. So we'll table we don't have to do anything on it. So we'll just table 1A. We'll go to 1B, consideration and possible approval of the March 21st minutes.
No, you're looking at, we're on 3.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. 3A is tabled. 3B is consideration and possible approval to fund container for Christmas tree. And again, that's probably going to be the same. So
thing.
we're going to table B. C is consideration and possible approval of downtown dumpster decorating contests.
Okay, this has already been approved
We
by the
just have to do
council.
dates, I
We would
think.
just have to change dates.
Okay.
Can we, would it be possible on the container for the Christmas tree? Does anybody know the details of that container?
It's,
I
in the
don't.
packet.
Well, I saw a reference, to the expense, but is that a container that we own?
It's a container we're going to have to purchase.
So this is just the okay,
This is
I
just
just,
the
perfect,
The quote for the 40-foot Connex.
thank you.
This is a storage container.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Off-season storage. I
Yes.
thought it was a base they were sticking the tree in. Okay.
No.
To keep it protected.
Understand.
Afterwards.
Got it.
Afterwards.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So on C, we just need to,
Let
we
me
just
ask
going to
you.
go back to council and have them,
Why would they have to reapprove it?
they shouldn't have to do just because of the dates. That shouldn't be,
Something's
Actually,
kinda
I
come
think
up
it's
that
over,
the
like, we
container-
proposed this committee proposed a very specific project that never happened, and so I think a revision of it would require it to go back in front of council.
yes.
It was completely approved. It's not our fault it wasn't implemented.
I know.
Y'all, I wanna go back to that container real quick, because if we have to have this next meeting in January, what are they gonna do with the tree if they take it down? But we're gonna have to schedule that meeting some way to be able, and how long will it take for that container to get here? Because that tree is very delicate, I mean, it needs to be put right. So if,
Do we have a timeline for the container delivery?
How long?
I don't.
You don't know?
This is the first I've heard of this.
So the quote, Ryan with our Parks Department is the one that will be purchasing the container. He said that the quote was good for 3 days, and it would be here in time for them to take down the tree. He didn't tell me the exact delivery date, if you approved it today.
What date did they plan to take down the tree?
All he told me was after Christmas. He didn't have an exact date, it would just depend on,
yeah, and if our meeting's after start of January, then it's probably not gonna be in the. I thought I better bring that up, y'all.
Are we
because-
reimbursing the city? Are we
Ye-
a reimbursement to them?
For the tree, I know, yes. The container, I don't know if they've purchased or, well, I haven't got that information.
Do you know if that?
We haven't, I don't believe we've purchased a container.
Or any of that?
Where's the money, the 30,000 coming from? It was put into our budget and now they want to spend it.
Well, I think she took it out of the general fund, right? She purchased out of the general fund, and then she was asking the beautification committee if we wanted to reimburse the city for the tree.
Yeah, cause I had read that she said, that the beautification, somebody asked her where the funds came from, and she said the beautification committee, and I thought, wow, I didn't even know nothing about this.
Right.
I don't know how fast Ann Chen can get us that 3 years. We could have a special called meeting next week, if you wanted to. Before Christmas, but it would be a hard,
It works for me. Is that y'all good?
Everybody's in town next week?
Yep.
everybody in town? Okay. Do we have a date, since we're all kind of talking about this, do you have a date?
About next Thursday. Does that work, this 19th?
I am having surgery on the 16th.
Okay, that's not, next week isn't good for her.
Okay.
I can do the 16th, I can do the 23rd. I know.
I can't do the 23rd. Can you,
So the 16th is everybody available maybe of a?
You're available on 16?
So do we want to not do a 4 o'clock? Do we want to do an earlier meeting time? I,
I can do it any time on the 16th.
Mhm.
That's all they want with clients. On the 16th? Oh. So the 4 o'clock meeting? Yes.
We can't do 4 o'clock. We have court in here at 4.
What about 8 in the morning?
How many of us have to be
Yeah,
here?
I could do it, I could do it.
4 of us?
Can she vote by proxy or Zoom or something?
Mm-mm.
But 4 of us have to, if 4
Have
of us
to-
can be here, we could make it
Three
work.
of 'em.
No, we,
There's 7, so
no,
4.
there's a board of 7, you have to have 4.
Just for 4 or not 1?
We have to have 4
I can do
o'clock.
it any day, anytime.
Yeah, I can.
I'm tied up on Tuesday, but I'm good on Monday. I'm good on Thursday.
Your surgery's 19.
16.
Your surgery's 16?
No, 17.
Oh, 17.
That's why she booked on the 16th.
Yes.
Well, if 1, 2, 3, 4 of us can make it,
Uh-huh.
does that work?
Mm-hmm.
On the
Okay.
16th?
Okay.
What time?
Is that good for you?
Lindsay, you're good on the 16th?
I can do the 16th.
Okay.
What time?
What time? Somebody take a time.
4 o'clock?
No, we have court at 4.
Oh, okay.
9 o'clock in the morning? 10 o'clock? 11?
10's okay, or any time that y'all can get away.
Is the AM good for y'all, like
I can do either time.
10 o'clock? No?
2 o'clock. Huh?
Or we could do,
I'm busy all day. I literally have an appointment every 30 minutes.
Okay.
or we could do after,
Or do it evening, Monday
as
evening?
you want to do
Court's what, 4 to 5?
Yes, so we could do a 5:30 or 6.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, let's do that.
That'd be a lot easier for me, too.
5:30?
5:30?
Sure.
5:30?
I would say that storage container will probably be here within 2 days after they order, because it's in
Okay.
Charlotte.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Philip. I did not know that.
Yeah. But we ordered one for the park department.
Do we have restrictions on how long the tree can be downtown? So if we needed to leave it till the 30th, that would be appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We usually don't take it down till after New Year's.
After New
Perfect.
Year's.
After New
But I
Year's.
was afraid if we got in the 15th, 16th,
Agreed.
17th of January, then that tree's just gonna be
Mhm.
out of luck.
I was looking at the 7th or 8th of January, so I wasn't sure where y'all were thinking.
Okay.
Okay,
5:30 and 16th.
Okay, I got that.
thank you, everybody.
Okay. We want to discuss any more about the dumpster decorating?
We need to change dates.
Okay.
I have
Oh.
lots of questions about the dumpster. I know I'm new to the committee. I guess, I think we identified that the primary contact, kind of Candy, has been you for this, is that right? Or
In this group.
in this group, you're kind of the lead on that?
He was going to give his phone number, Philip was,
Oh,
for
okay,
the merchants to call for questions
okay.
on the city side.
That brings up a question I have. Who is a candidate for the dumpster contest?
It's,
Is there a parameter?
it's on here.
I just saw a reference to business. I didn't know, can any business around town?
Yes.
Apply.
It was.
With a
anybody
utility,
With a utility bill and a dumpster.
So anybody with a utility bill and a dumpster. So our city ordinance actually, 156.066C indicates that any dumpster has to be enclosed in the city limits. And so if we decorate a dumpster but it's enclosed, how does that work?
and these have to be the smaller dumpsters.
We're talking about
What's on
a
here?
roll, like a little wheelie cart like at my house?
No,
No,
less
the-
than 3 yards.
Less
like
than
your
3 yards, not those big
like the-
things.
Like the one that has like an angled side with
Yeah,
four wheels?
yeah,
Okay, well,
like-
those have to be enclosed by city ordinance. Any commercial property that has a dumpster, they're supposed to be enclosed.
No, they're not.
They're not.
Well,
You mean a fence?
but I mean, are we supporting an effort that goes against an existing ordinance, I guess, is my first thought about that.
You're talking about with the perimeter, right, they're supposed to have.
Supposed
Like
to, it's,
fence?
the words are, the word is screened, in the ordinance, but it's you could build a beautiful landscape parameter, you could build a fence, you could build a brick, some larger businesses have brick enclosure, but it's supposed to be discreet.
But if they're not in that perimeter, where does it leave everything?
Who's enforcing it?
Well, I'll bet you half the businesses in town are breaking that ordinance in.
Yeah.
Cause you can drive down any
We've
street.
tried.
We,
in the
we
alleys.
grandfathered in though, cause we got annexed in 2000, so I don't know.
Never had fences.
That's why they need decorating.
I love the idea of, I mean, having been in other municipalities where there are efforts like this is fantastic, and I'm an advocate for all things more beautiful. That's why I'm here. But I just want to be sure we're mindful of our responsibility.
So Lindsay, where would that, what is this gonna boil down to?
That's a really good question.
I mean, it's
That's
like-
why I'm asking.
If you go down Law Street, you'll see a lot of dumpsters that are not
Mhm.
enclosed.
Mm-hmm.
We don't enforce that because they're rent buildings, for one thing, and there's some that are enclosed.
So are they exempt if they're rented?
I'm not sure they're exempt.
Because I haven't been able to find any other reference.
What, our main concern was, that they're on a hard surface. That's what we kind of enforce mostly. We don't enforce the enclosures all the time. A lot of businesses do have enclosures, but they're not totally enclosed. It's just around the sides.
I've seen some of them like a L shape.
Yeah, their front's
Yes.
open.
They would have to be open so the truck could
The
get to them.
truck can back to them and load them.
See, there's something that popped up in my head, the ones that do have the enclosures, they can't be painted. So if that business is left out because they're enclosed and the next door neighbor is not enclosed, then you're gonna have that issue. of,
Well,
what
they
do we
can,
do?
they can still paint them even though they're enclosed. I mean,
Well,
but
go in there and paint the dumpster, not the enclosure.
not the enclosure, just the dumpster. Yeah, they can still paint their dumpster, whether they're enclosed or not.
If they were all enclosed, we wouldn't need this contest.
Exactly.
So if we were enforcing the code on the books, we wouldn't need it.
Right.
Right. It was just for beautification.
So when you look down the alley at all the dumpsters that aren't enclosed, it's not quite such an eyesore.
I like the idea. I'm just trying to
I
offer
guess
due
we just-
diligence.
I think we just have to go with it as is and, I mean, there's not much that can be done, just paint the dumpster.
Or we can scrap the contest.
They don't have to be involved in this if they don't wanna be. This is not a have to be. It's just if they wanna be.
Yeah.
We also have a mural ordinance that requires all murals to be approved by the city manager.
I know, that got out of hand.
So that, I didn't see that on our itemized list of,
That got out of hand.
I would assume
Oh.
that this may fall under the mural. I'm not legal counsel to make that. I don't carry any weight on that, but we also have that restriction too.
I like anything beautiful, but some of this is
Now, didn't they-
not very pretty.
No.
Didn't they have to kind of give you a rendering of what it's gonna look like before they painted it? Was we doing that? Did we?
There's supposed to be a mock sent in for
Yes.
approval.
They
Yeah,
should be.
so that
They
might
should
be, what, they're saying, talking about they'll let Pam look those over, make sure they're tasteful and not
Sure.
tacky or
I
anything.
think that's great.
Well, I do agree with maintaining ordinances and the bylaws that we want to set forth in our government here. I just do want to make sure that I also think about my experiences in other places that I've really enjoyed and what they look like. And I do see a lot of dumpsters that were painted that weren't enclosed in the cities. And so I wonder if it's one of those you have to pick your battles type things. This one I agree with doing. I agree with going forward even against the ordinance. I think it's a good idea. As far as the city manager having to approve the murals for this, I think that we have a special circumstance within ourselves to delegate that out. I don't think that we need to burden the city manager for the murals on the dumpsters when we have that special
Well, they
allowance.
already approved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know that painting a dumpster is a mural.
right.
That may be
I just want to
possible.
take that off of her plate. I don't want
Right.
to make sure that we're having her vote on those. We can have a special judge for that.
The other issue I was wondering about is once they're painted, y'all, who puts them back to as they were when they start aging and getting withered like our horses that nobody has kept up? They look terrible.
We can redo the contest in 6 years.
Can we do that?
Why not?
Well, I just
When they
hate
start looking
things are left.
tacky, we could do it again.
It's all, let's do it, let's do
Or
it.
send,
and then at
or
the
send
end,
Philip out with
people don't-
some
They
green
don't maintain
paint.
them.
They don't maintain
Oh, you
them.
paint them.
What is, yeah. Hey, I'll do my deal. I'll drive around and tell you where they're at.
I would like to suggest that this be done February, March timeframe. I think springtime would be a good time, the spring solstice, so then it's still a little cool outside, and people might enjoy getting outside and cleaning
That
up.
was our original plan last year, and we, somehow, our meetings are every 3 months, and so, it did not get on the agenda in the winter
In enough
meeting to
time.
be approved for the spring, so it got
Sure.
on in the spring to be approved for the fall.
Sure.
And then it slipped through the cracks,
And
because
then
we
didn't
couldn't
have a
meet.
meeting in fall.
We didn't have a meeting in the summer or the fall.
Wow.
So, yeah, so yes, the original plan was for it to be done at this time of year, to be judged in the spring when the weather was nice.
Maybe even consider having the paint time being during what the Durant schools is on spring break. And then
March.
that way the children are maybe home with the parents and family and
Mhm.
can help or guardians. So maybe mid-March, if you guys are okay with that answer.
Or we could, if this got out in the billing in January or
Mhm.
February, and the judging was in April or May,
Mm-hmm.
that covers March.
Mm-hmm. Give them a longer time
They need a
span
long,
to.
yeah, we don't expect somebody to go out and do this in a month.
I figure 2 months would probably be, pretty good amount of time. to-
We're expecting the artwork to be, okay, good.
And then once, if we get our 10 or more entries, then we will, at that point, realize we have a contest and work on judges.
Yep. Any other discussion?
Do we have a limit on people that will be taking? You said 10 or more.
The last, down at the bottom, it says this contest will be canceled if fewer than 10 businesses enter.
Sorry, do we have a total amount that we'll accept? Will we accept up to 30 or 40? How many will we accept?
We didn't put a cap on it.
No
We didn't
cap.
put no
No.
cap.
Very
We
good.
want everybody to do it.
Very good. Thank you.
So we need to look at calendars.
You're good at that, I can't. She's good at everything.
Do
Okay,
we
this-
have any measure on making sure that the designs that are submitted are what's actually installed?
Well, we have the
Somewhere
form.
on here.
This form plus a drawing of your design is all that I saw. So,
Where is that? Yes, about halfway down.
I think that we probably should bring those designs into and talk about them if there's something that comes up, because
Well, the first thing says it's tasteful. So that it would be our discretion on what's tasteful. And then it said this form plus the drawing is due at the utility office, so we should have something in hand. And we
Sure.
just need to put.
I'm just thinking what's actually installed, of confirming that it's what was approved.
I think it needs to be approved.
Are there any, like, accountability measures for?
If they did something totally
Mhm.
different, well, they'd be disqualified, and if it was tacky, I guess we'd spray paint it black, I don't know.
I don't think they'll go there, but you have to ask all these questions.
Cause we don't want, what was it, marijuana painted on them is what,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you really can't, if you let other businesses depict what they sell,
Right.
you can't stop the medical marijuana stores from depicting what they
True.
sell.
True.
I don't really want bugs on my.
There's a fine line in all
If
this
we're
with
gonna
the
do this, we
artwork.
can't stop.
I mean, it's touchy. We just hope that everybody,
It can all be done tastefully, though. It doesn't have to be tacky.
When they
so.
turn in that drawing, and if it's something that we don't like, we can tell them it's not tasteful. And they're not meeting the things, and don't waste your time doing it.
I think we need to look at them, every one of them.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think a minimum standard would be approving a submission.
Yeah, I agree.
If they go ahead and paint it otherwise, that would be outside the parameters of this contest, and I don't know what the city would do about that.
No, I would just put in there somewhere if we could get that redone, that they have to be, the designs have to be approved by a
I
certain
mean,
date.
if a business owner wanted to paint his dumpster and was not involved in this contest,
That's on.
and that's on the city too, it's
Yeah.
not on us, because we can't control
No.
what they're doing.
No.
Do you want this rephrased a little stronger? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm thinking the more we put in up front, the easier it is on the back end. Trying to clean it up after the fact versus set the standards ahead of time, in my
Well,
opinion,
this
is
has
much
been tweaked
easier.
multiple times, and I have no problem tweaking it again.
Let's tweak it that they be approved.
I think maybe they should sign the document acknowledging that they understand they have to install what they submit.
That's good. That's
And
good,
at least
yeah.
there's some form of,
Some,
they acknowledge that they knew that at the time.
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
hold them
just-
accountable. Make sure
just for a
they're doing
it's-
exactly what they're saying.
It
Yeah,
makes for an easier conversation.
perfect.
yeah, Lindsay, that's good.
I think there's some language in the sign ordinance about that kind of reference to tasteful. I can't remember, there's a word in there, I can't remember off the cuff, but that kind of references tasteful, but it's already a language that's used in our sign ordinances that maybe could be borrowed for this to help dress that a little bit. Because, I mean, a pool business could be like, I want a topless mermaid on here, you know, I mean, the mermaid part's fine, but, you know, there's a key component that needs to be tweaked a little that,
That would not be a tasteful
that would, I
design.
wouldn't, yeah, I mean,
That's
clever, but.
Now, that's depending on who's looking at it. I mean, come on.
How about drawing of design must be signed by the owner of the business and approved by the Keep Durant Beautiful Committee?
Sounds great, I
Yep.
like that.
Perfect.
And must be the, it can't be deviated, what must be the final product must be the same as what was submitted or something like that?
Just must follow whatever's submitted.
If you're gonna do that, then you need a deadline for when they have to have those turned in.
Right,
Yeah.
that was
I figure we'll have those.
here,
like a-
that's one of the dates we have to change.
Yeah, we'll have to change that deadline. And on here, we only have it, it looks like they had a month and a half to turn. It was August 30th when they had that stuff to turn in, and then the judging was on October 15th.
But they were notified a month or two before August, we thought.
Right.
We thought they'd have a month or two before they had to submit it.
Gotcha. So do we want to put something out in the mail around March, late February, March?
That,
the
oh,
bills,
that
or is
was
that-
it, okay, they can be
Or-
submitted in person.
No, I would.
Or we want
We need-
January, do that in January, then have it where everything has to be submitted by
And we needed that email.
March.
Put in, and we don't
Judging in
have it
April.
yet.
Okay.
By Easter?
We do it.
Okay.
We were also going to fill in an email that the entries plus a drawing could be submitted in person or by emailing to, which was left blank because we didn't have the email address yet.
And we probably won't get one from the city now. Could we do a dummy email for that? Raylan?
Next thing we need to work on is the dates, nailing them down, like actual number of dates.
Okay, drawing of design must be signed by the owner of the business and approved by the Keep Durant Beautiful Committee. The final decorated dumpster must match this drawing.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right, what were the dates y'all were talking about? I missed.
We were talking about when we're gonna put it out, like in the mail, like their bills and stuff. And you may have to email some of that stuff, because I know some people, they're paperless.
Could it
Yeah,
go out in the January
That's what, yeah.
billing?
Go out January
Cycle?
billing. Mm-hmm.
That's usually around the January billing's usually what, 7th, 9th, sometime around in there.
Yeah, but I have to have it before then.
So you'll need it
and I gotta figure out, what I'll do is what we need to do is put a link, just put a link on the bill to the email address, and they can
But I don't-
print off.
If we're changing this stuff, I don't think we're gonna have a council meeting before the billing cycle in January.
We won't.
Okay, so the February billing cycle?
Yeah, 'cause council meets the 14th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if all these changes are going to be approved by council, then
Do
the
that?
next bill, yeah, because you're changing dates and language and all that, so.
Would
it
that
needs to
be better if?
I think it'd just be safer to get it reapproved.
Like
Thinking
a,
it-
I mean, not an address, but a computer where they could just go print it off themselves in case there's some kind of changes that, I mean, wouldn't that be easier than mailing all that?
You're not gonna, it's gonna cost you $1,200 to email, to mail all
That's what I
these-
think, that's
all
too much
these out
money.
on our, with the billing.
If a person goes to the or the
I
address,
thought the.
print it off.
If you could put it on Durant's website, durant.org,
You can put it on Durant.org and tell them to go to this website
Mhm.
and print it off.
To enter content.
Because I just sent out letters to everybody in the city, and it was over $3,200.
But I thought it was going to be done electronically. We were told it could be done in-house electronically.
On the billing,
Yes.
yes. That's what I'm saying, you don't mail out this
Right.
application.
We
You
w-
put a link to a website where they can come print it off.
So it don't get stuffed in the envelope, they
Right.
just.
Right,
if they
and it
want
doesn't
to,
cost
then do it.
anything.
Yeah, good.
And I think it should be in more than one, like in February and March with the bills electronically.
only thing is, if you want to do it in April, it's kind of, you're shortchanging, you know, we can't,
We need time to judge.
yeah.
Okay, what was the deadline for the entry, drawing, and forms? Was that in March?
No, we probably need to do it in February.
If we're gonna send the notices out
In-
February, what is the date in February we're sending the notices out?
If it goes out in the bill, it'll be February 7th through the
First-
10th, maybe.
First week of the month?
So then.
Because your bill's due, when's your bill due, on the 10th?
Yeah, I guess.
The bills
Yeah.
are due on 10.
Do you want to give a
I don't know
month
about
for the
Saturday.
community to send in applications and have a deadline 4 weeks later? So then you'd be March 15th, and then you're judging April 15th, 4 weeks in between
That
each.
doesn't give them much time. Let's judge it in May.
Okay.
So if we put it in February and March bill, have the deadline in April, and judge in May.
And this is I'd have them send to send their drawings to that email address.
Right, and it's on here,
That
we
way
just don't
y'all
have,
can just look at them
Yes.
off that email.
we just don't have what it is to fill in on this form yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be sending them out the first full week of February, which is like the 5th through the 9th.
So if it's in
Which it'll
Feb-
actually be sent out probably
Just a hair behind before that, like,
the end of January.
so the
Okay.
deadline needs to be April, what?
I think earlier to give us time to judge so that
I
they
think
can get notified
March.
and have time.
I would do the deadline like March 31st, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Or maybe that Friday, March 29th, because that's gonna give them,
What's that Monday, and then they have a weekend?
when was you talking about doing it, May?
Yeah,
What day in May?
wait a minute, we're talking, wait a minute,
When are you wanting to actually have it finished, ready to,
May.
what week?
not
What-
at the end, it'll get too hot.
Yeah,
Middle of the
usually
month?
Kids are out of school the 15th.
Unless it's a holiday.
So March 29th,
It's-
the drawings are due. And the judging will be.
Well, if you was gonna
on-
do it, if you were wanting 4 week span for the contest, you could do it in the first part of April, where we find out how many people we've got and all that. And if you want to do it the first week of April, if you're not wanting to do it until mid-May, that's gonna still give them 4 or 5 weeks.
What if it's Saturday, the 17th is judging of May? The week before that's Mother's Day, and that's not a good weekend. The 17th of,
That's Friday.
Mm.
17th is a Saturday in May
Mhm.
of 25.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, okay, oh,
Wait a
last
minute,
time we were
no.
gonna have judging on a Tuesday, that's because of the concerts.
Mother's Day is 11.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm a year behind here.
so judging will be on Saturday,
7.
May 17th. And the deadline for the entries is March 29th, which is a Friday. Does that work? No, what's wrong?
March 29th is a Saturday.
I'm gonna-
Okay, 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And they can be submitted in person or by emailing to, and we need to get that email address before we can print this out.
Before it goes to council.
Before it goes out in their bills too.
Yeah, and back before council.
And we're gonna put it in their February and their March bills. And then there's a link where they print this off. Okay. Okay, I will tweak this. And that needs to go up.
So I donated prize money, so I can't even do it.
That's right.
That's great. I was gonna try to win my money back.
Your dumpster's screened, right?
Huh? Yeah.
No need.
Okay, judging will be on Saturday, May
Or we
20th.
talked shortstop.
I should have said Brady Miller donated the money. Told my dad donated it instead of Miller's.
We can
but-
change it.
No, I'm not doing that. That's crooked.
I wanna see you paint.
I want, yeah.
No, you don't want to see me paint, I can tell
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna put this about the drawing, right above the one that says between the two dates, between the entry due date and the judging date, I'm gonna insert it up there.
Y'all think the 10 businesses will?
I don't know. Don't know. Don't know, maybe a complete bust.
Do we have the option to have it advertised or recognized on the city's Facebook page?
Yep.
we
Yeah.
can put it in.
That would be great, and maybe the
Yep.
form, the submission form could be there too. It might get some attention.
Yeah.
And any other social media that the city
Oh, yeah, we'll
uses.
put it out on our Facebook
I wonder
page
if-
and stuff.
Is the city member of the chamber?
Mm-hmm.
Then we can put it in the chamber too.
That would be great.
I don't know who would do that. Who would do that?
I think you'll be surprised about how many people will do it, really. I think there'll be more than you'd
Right.
think.
Then it can go in the chamber, the city Facebook, and in the bills. Because almost every business is a member of the chamber, and they'll see it there.
I had one of my employees that she wanted to do a deal with some art students where they paint fire hydrants. I thought that was really cool. They're doing it in art.
Well, we still got our giant peanut idea on the back burner too. That you don't remember. You don't remember.
I seen one of those little round propane tanks. It's over on Armstrong Road. They painted it like a big bobber. It looks, the top's red. It looks like a push button. It's red and white bobber. It's pretty neat.
While we're on this subject, who is responsible for the horses? I don't even know. Do you have any idea?
I do not know who's responsible for those horses. I
We
do not.
talked about the giant peanuts and paint them and put them
Since we're the
Like-
beautification.
Oh,
like the horses thing was,
Yeah.
but ours would be peanuts.
yeah, I remember that.
And I know where the mold is to make them.
That's for the peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could find out about those horses because that's beautification. They'd fall under our,
Are they owned by the businesses they're in front of? There's only one or two left.
Janie.
I think a student driver took
Yeah,
one
driver
or
took
one and a half of
one
them out.
there.
I remember
when the peanut thing was, we could-
So do we need to have a vote on this, on the dumpster?
I think we just need to vote to approve any changes we made and then it go to council with,
I make a motion that we approve the changes we just discussed about the dumpster decorating contest.
did we get the dates set in
Yes.
stone on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll second. Roll call?
Board Member Knight,
Yes.
Board Member Solis,
Yes.
Board Member Horsley,
Aye.
Board Member Sutter,
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes. Okay, we're at 3D, discuss concerning Yard of the Month program.
I'm excited about this one. This is right up
This
my
is
alley.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, let's hear it, Bill.
I feel like we didn't discuss anything about it.
Well, we talked about some of the, like, having a sign made.
We
Yeah,
needed
we're
money,
That we would-
we needed money for the signs,
Signs.
get
Yep.
approved.
Yeah.
Then we'll
I
have
think
to figure
it'll
out.
bring some old time back to the town when I first got on the garden club with the.
I remember when I was a kid, you'd always see those signs, you know, at different locations.
Well, how many yards do you think we should pick? Just that one? I mean,
One a
it's
month?
part of town, yeah.
And we talked about, it would just be us driving around, and if we saw one that was pretty, we would note the address and.
I'm just glad Keach Ballard doesn't live in the city anymore, because he had grass you could putt off of his front yard. He had the best grass. But he don't live in the city anymore, so.
We'll take a picture and note the address, and then we would vote among
Then we
ourselves or
could
something.
Vote among ourselves.
So then this would just be, each month we would agree on one yard, and they would receive the sign that they would get to keep in their yard for the entire month.
Yes.
And then we would pick a new yard the next month and just move the singular sign from
Yes.
yard to yard.
And we
So
would
this would
have
be
to
a
do-
reusable sign.
And we would do this without meeting.
Yeah.
We
Perfect.
would have to do this
I think we talked about the sign similar to like a
electronically or something. I don't know
sign
who-
for like
who
a
moves the
realtor or
signs?
something uses.
Who
Something like
moves the
that kind of
signs from
size.
yard to yard?
We can get with the Parks Department, couldn't they move the sign for us?
I'll go move the sign.
I was gonna say, I would
Yeah, I'll drive.
love
I
to
can-
go knock on the door and be like, you're like, I would love to do that. That'd be great.
Yep.
I could be in charge of
And
that.
take pictures and get them in the newspaper and on the Facebook page, yeah, or the
I'll take
city
pictures.
website. Yeah.
To pass forward.
Take a big hammer.
Yeah, I would love
A
this.
Sledgehammer.
I mean,
I'll take my husband with me and just tell him, and I'll go talk to the owner, and then my husband will pick up the
There we
sign,
go.
and he'll go put it where I tell him to. It'll be fine.
Awesome.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
good, 'cause,
Yeah?
you know, my parts guy's got a lot to handle.
I
There you
know
go.
they do, yeah.
We're just gonna have to figure out how much that sign is.
I'm about to give him more work. Don't worry
We
about it.
need to get a bid on the sign for approval.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll call
Okay.
him. Which I guess I can go to 2 or 3 different sign places and see
Find us a nice one.
which one.
Do we want it to be square? Do we want it to be something nice? We want it to stand out when someone drives by. We don't want it to look like a realtor sign.
I've
We want
seen-
it to look unique.
I was gonna say I've seen the ones like Yard of the Month before that it was a metal frame, nice metal frame, and then it had like some designs built in, kind of like wrought iron
Perfect.
gates. Kind of, I've seen
What if
those.
we had somebody cut a magnolia out of plywood and
Oh,
paint it?
What about doing
the
ironwork
metal.
with the ag
What is
kids?
the
that-
metal, the plasma
Iron?
cutter? Plasma cutter that,
Oh, those laser cutter things?
Takes
to
on a
shoot
millwright
metal?
does that.
That would be even better if we
since
had
we're
something
gonna
like
have
that.
this a long time, I
I-
think we need
agreed.
to.
It needs to withstand the weather. It needs to be reusable. It needs to be sturdy.
And it needs to be individualized for Durant.
Yes.
Yep.
It needs to stand out.
Yeah.
And specifically would say keep Durant beautiful on there. And I'd love to incorporate the magnolia idea. That's beautiful.
I think one of those plasma cutters are so heavy, they'll last till
Hmm.
Jesus comes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's.
So, are you still gonna get the sign?
Well, I can. Yeah, where would you need to go to talk to them about that? Cutting that out.
Gonna take on millwright.
Take some millwright. I can do that.
Okay.
I'll take care of that.
Do you think that when we get that email
that
address
full? Hey,
for this
is that
group,
full?
that maybe it could be an email address that
that
would be
mine?
used
Yeah,
if
I
someone
got
had a nomination?
I'll,
This email is just for the contest for the merchants.
what she's
So
saying.
I was just
So we would
thinking
have
maybe
to
if it
set
was
up one
like
just for ourselves.
beautification at Durant.
Yeah,
Or
we-
Can't we have a
beauty
whole
at Durant,
email?
you know, something, and then.
We need to, because we're gonna be sending pictures in to vote on and stuff.
But then it could be that
Just
could be our
standard.
email address, if that's an option.
We do need
What
it
size
since
we want?
everything is gone so
maybe
heck nowadays.
like maybe 3 foot
Mhm.
wide by
And we don't wanna meet every
probably
month.
2.5 or maybe,
Well, I
maybe 3 by
think
3.
the email
Doing
is
that
something
email
we
would
can
be
have
an option.
whenever.
Forever, yeah,
But
It
we
could be
need
an
it
option.
we just
because
change the users.
Used to is telephone from.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll get the bids on the sign get those brought back, but we'll have to, I'll try to get them done before we have this next meeting.
I'll look at some, I'll,
Oh, okay. How much is in the budget?
So I emailed our Director of Finance. She sent me the budget for, just for, so total year budget currently is $133,700.
that's what I thought, there was no, there was
Okay.
100 and something.
Why do we have so much money?
Because we never spent anything.
Okay.
And
I'd
we're-
like to.
And we're scrimping on decorating City Hall at Christmas and thinking maybe it was $200 too much.
Do we want to
buy wreaths.
revisit? Do we want to revisit the approval for
We-
the
We can,
Christmas
and then-
tree and storage containers since we now have the information that we needed? Are you comfortable with that, Lindsay?
Yeah, we can go back.
Yeah, I think we need to
So-
address this, because there's so much.
So we're done with
concern
the-
the citizens out there.
There is so much concern, and I thank you so much for following up on the amount that we have in our budget currently. That is to be used to keep Durant beautiful at our discretion. And this meeting is open to the public. And I do want to note that there is not a single citizen in this room today. And so while we're moving forward and now we know what is in our budget and where that is coming from, I'd like to clear the air and I'd like to vote to approve the funding for the Christmas tree and the storage building.
Got approved, or I got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Hang on, my stuff went, it froze. Board Member Knight,
Yes.
Board Member Solis,
Yes.
Board Member Horsley,
No.
Board Member Sutter,
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes. It's approved. Okay, and then we'll go right back, you wanna do the container too? Good. It's gonna be 3B, consider possible action or approval for the fund container for the Christmas tree. And we've already discussed that, so do I have a motion?
I have a motion to approve, please.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Board Member Knight,
Yes.
Board Member Solis,
Yes.
Board Member Horsley,
Yes.
Board Member Sutter,
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes. All right, so,
So do we still need to have a meeting on the 16th, or are we good to go ahead and just, okay.
I think it's,
well, we still, if we're gonna do, I mean, are we in a hurry for the yard of the month stuff?
no.
So we
Can
don't
it
have
wait
to
till
have a
the March
special meeting?
meeting?
What I
For
thought,
that.
I might, at home, I'll sketch some drawings
Okay,
and let you see.
get them to me.
We
I was
might
gonna-
need to see how much it's gonna cost. I don't think it'll be more.
Well, I know Mike Forbes, I know him really well, so I'll talk to him. I'm sure he'll make a good deal for me. So, I mean, I'll see. If it's crazy, I'll just tell him no, so. But usually, anything he's ever done for me, he's always done good work and it's cheap, so.
Okay.
Okay. So, we're not gonna talk about any more of the yard of the month, so we're to number 4, new business. Do we have any new business that anybody wants to discuss?
I have a few ideas that I'd love to run across everybody. I would love to, I'm not sure, I was looking earlier if there's a horticulture department at Southeastern.
Yeah.
So working with those, that department coming forward in the spring. I know that there was a gentleman that walked around Southeastern back in that pavilion at one time, and there was so many different pathways that were really pretty back there. And I wonder if we could do some more work back there because it's just trees. So maybe the students would like to work. I don't think it's campus. I think it's public area that's back there. So maybe we can investigate that area and see if we can improve on that. I'd like to discuss with Choctaw, maybe see about the recycling center. Seems to be they're the most close center. I'm not very caught up on all of that. I apologize, but I'm happy to call them and see if we can get some recycling going downtown. I would like to see more trash cans and maybe recycling compartments listed at each of our corners. I was down there the other day and I had a bottle and I didn't have anything to do with it. So
Yeah, we actually started a program, Durant.
Durant.
We went in with Hoffman Sanitation, where you purchase I think it's $10 a month. I think the customer pays, the citizen pays $10 a month. You get a recycle can out there, and then Hoffman comes by and picks up the recycled items.
Okay, so that would be for the cost of the business owner to take?
No, the citizen actually pays to have the.
So this would be for downtown?
Yeah,
like
no, I don't
Main
know what you're
Street?
talking. Yeah, I was just letting you know.
Oh,
we've
that,
been-
there is
we've-
Hoffman locally?
Yeah, we've been.
Oh, sure,
we've been,
sure.
We've also been
Okay.
kind of working on getting
There
recycling
is
stuff.
some downtown, it's just, there's some, they're the big container, recycling container. They have one behind Law Street. They're just not on each corner.
I do think, I think she's got a good point though. If you had them,
Like where
Readily
you
where you're
available.
actually
like where your
walking,
trash
you
receptacle,
know,
like
yes,
this
have
part's
them next to a
recycled,
tree.
this is
There you go.
trash.
But I
Yep.
don't know if they have small containers.
Well, and it would be the small containers for downtown for the walking. So when we're
Right.
downtown for our, First Fridays and our Main Street events and we have all this trash, we have nothing to do with it. So maybe having some trash receptacles downtown, working with either Hoffman's or Choctaw to get some recycling going down there as well.
Yep, yeah, I agree.
Did our green trash cans are no longer there anymore?
Yeah, they're there.
No, they're there.
They're
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, but they're not recycled.
Yeah.
They're just-
And then I'd like to look at doing a community garden. I don't know if Carl Albert is readily available to us to use, but there is such a beautiful space that we could do a community garden in there. I'd love to work with getting some native plants and some perennials that are there, and even along in our downtown pots, putting some perennials there as well that would last through the winter and through the spring. I think that would help save us some money if those were recurring versus the flowers that were dying out.
You know, the only issues we've had over all these years is no water. We had to carry it downtown.
So then let's find some drought tolerant
Drought
plants.
tolerant.
Some
That would be
dianthus,
better. Yeah.
sure. we can.
Lantana.
Lantana, that's a beautiful flower. I have, yes, some of that as well. That would be great out front in those pots.
The
Those are just some
gallon,
things that I would love to do. I'm happy to help lead any of that. I don't know how a lot of this works. I'm new as well. So those are just some ideas that I had to contribute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
The girl out of Southeastern that's over the horticulture and all that, I know her name and I know her, but, I think they would help us, you know. Does Choctaw like Chickasaw have the greenhouses for their properties, do y'all know? Yeah, up in Ada, Chickasaw has all those big greenhouses. It's full of flowers that, you know, I didn't know if Choctaw did that or not.
Yeah, I've never seen it. About it.
greenhouse.
Sarah, if you want to work on a plan for that stuff,
Sure.
just like get us something kind of broke down as a plan, then that's something we can throw on the agenda
Okay.
at some point, and we can work on it.
Should I write these items out and submit them in
Uh,
writing?
Yeah, just have us something where we can look at and set it down, and get it in a plan, and get
Sure.
it approved through council and everything. Where we come here first, make the decision on it, you know, how we want to go about it, all
Sure.
that, and then go from there.
Okay.
And
Great.
get kind of we'll have to, if you're wanting plants and stuff like that, we'll have to go out for bids and get how much all that costs and everything, then get council approval, and then move forward. Just kind of get us a plan together if you want to.
Absolutely. I'll
Perfect.
start working on those. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other new business? I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I second.
Roll call.
Board Member Knight,
Yes.
Board Member Solis,
Yes.
Board Member Horsley,
Yes.
Board Member Sutter,
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes. It's adjourned.